Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today we have a great show, the best dating advice. I've talked about this before. Let's reframe it. The best dating advice right now for 2022. And the reason why I will repeat some of these, because live streams, sometimes you didn't get a get in on it. You might have missed a live stream. It's a different format, so whoever comes in today, this will be a nice one. Just to start off right off the top, just been doing these reactions recently. And just going out of my way to find new content, and it's amazing the dichotomy, the variety of stuff that's out there right now. Because I'll be honest, like if I was going into this stuff and I was like, oh, you know, I think a lot of people looking at these videos will just type in like dating advice, what should I do, and it starts coming up with so many things, right? And then the algorithm starts sending you stuff, right? And you gotta wonder, like, why is it sending me this stuff? So right now we have this huge red pill thing that's been going on a long time, but I just feel like it's never been more widespread. And it just seems like a lot of younger dudes are adopting this almost in a not glorified way, but copying guys that have big followings on YouTube that are a certain type of character. And I'm seeing these guys call into these shows and they don't line up. Like, it's like, oh, I smashed. Like, I got to do this to her. They're talking to guys that have multiple women, that have a certain outlook, that have a rotation, these kinds of things, but they're not that kind of guy. So it's really becoming one of these things that's like, can you learn yourself and what you really want? Because I think there's some guys out there that think it's really uncool right now to have a girlfriend, and it's gonna blow their cool cover, if you will. And that's fine. It's like I was just doing Alpha Male Strategies reaction a few days ago. I don't know, it was last week, and he had a call in that I reviewed, and the guy's like, almost, you could tell the guy's broken up over a bad breakup. And the advice was just blunt to the point. And the guy was like, it's fine if you're a purple pill. It's fine if you want a girlfriend or something. But here's the thing. He's asking advice from someone that doesn't believe in having monogamous long-term relationships. And he just had a 2-year breakup. So how is that guy going to relate to what you want? So then at the end, he's like, I'm just going to start doing rotations. It's like, that's okay. But if you like having a girlfriend, don't just... because someone has 1 million views and they're cool on Instagram or YouTube, don't adapt their morals and values on how you want to do dating. There is some basics to attraction, right? Like not being overly nice, not being a pushover, not being a crybabe. There's all kinds of little basics. But this idea that you got to be an asshole, I think you're eliminating some good women. I don't think the rules are that clear, right? I think that in the name of attracting more women, you're going to get less quality in the sense. Basically what I'm saying is some of this advice on dating multiple women, which is not a bad thing. When you're single, I actually agree with that 100%. Spin plates, as you will, as the rational male Rollo Tomassi says. I agree with that. But this idea that you're never going to strive to have a girlfriend, it's fine, but is that what you really want? I mean, since the beginning of time, a lot of guys have liked having girlfriends or wives. I mean, look at ball players, right? These guys, to me, like in America or in certain countries, like they're gonna get as many women as they want. I've thought of, think about this for a minute. If you think about status, money, they're gonna be in good shape, right? So these guys are the cream of the crop. They get women thrown at them, okay? Yet, I don't know, a lot of them are married, right? Think about that for a minute. That's kind of interesting, right? Because you think, well, dude, if I was, Michael Jordan, if I was one of these guys and it was getting it thrown at me all the time, everywhere, dude, I'd stay single. Why do they get married? We got B on the mic today. He's going to join in. What do you think about that question, B?
Specifically about the red pill or like?
No, like I said, just what I just said.
Right.
if you're a ball player and you're getting
yeah.
it thrown at you, right? Like,
Right.
because I've often said like Tiger Woods or some of these guys that are in all this trouble. I'm like, well, put yourself in that situation where you have women waiting outside your hotel of high quality, you know, every single day. What are you going to do with that temptation? Oh, I do that. You know, it's like, come on.
Right.
My point is, though, here's the interesting thing. A lot of these guys or guys that used to be, let's just even say not, let's stick to the topic. I'm sorry. I had too much coffee. So these guys, but a lot of them get married.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
say a majority of them, right?
Yeah.
So why do? Because I thought about this recently. I'm like, if they have all these interactions, right, all these opportunities, but in the end they end up going monogamous, right? And they get a maybe they're not monogamous.
They're not monogamous, but
They get a wife.
right.
So what's the reason for getting a wife?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe it's I don't know, a financial thing. I have no idea.
I mean, it could be they're just following. You know,
Like
it could be they fell in love.
sure, and they just want to lock her down and still be able to do whatever they want.
I
don't know.
think, and this is I think, meaning I don't know, because every individual is going to be different. I think it gets old.
Just going through
Just
different women. Like
I've
all
had
the
a few
time,
times in
yeah.
my life where I've been single and meeting multiple women, and it's fun. But there's some backdrops. Me and you have talked about this before. As far as, first of all, it's time consuming. So if you have work or something like that, and you're juggling 4 or 5 women. Number 2, those interactions, even if you are like, yeah, I don't like you anymore, I'm not willing, they don't always go over smoothly. Some
Yeah.
women are crying, which doesn't, if you have half a heart, that doesn't feel good. Doesn't mean you're
Right.
going to take them back and make them your girlfriend. It just doesn't feel good,
No, it doesn't.
right? And that's not planned. The other thing is having multiple women, if depending on your finances, can be expensive, but it can be draining too, because it's just, you're dealing with 4 or 5 different personalities, right?
All the time, yeah.
Right, and that's just why it's more apt to do it when you're younger.
Yeah, I think that's why if we're specifically talking about like ball players and stuff, maybe like when you first get into the league and it's like a fresh thing, you know, maybe it's fun for a while and then you find someone and you like them, so you want to lock that down.
But the other thing is, think about it like this. So if you're upping your amount of women that you're seeing, right?
Right.
You could just get like a stage 5 clinger or a highly manipulative woman that spins you. Because this is what I always think. The more women you see, you're going to meet your match. And if you meet enough, there's going to be one where you're like, am I getting manipulated right now? Like this,
Yeah.
like she's starting to make me think I'm a depressed person or this or that. And so a guy can have a really bad experience in the dating world.
Yeah.
And then he meets a really good woman, and the woman's elevated by the fact that he's been with a couple bad ones. And he's like, you know what? I just want to settle down and quit.
Like running through all these bad
Right. It's like the
relationships.
equivalent of a guy that's an entrepreneur, and he keeps failing at a few businesses and goes, I just want to get a secure, steady job.
Right.
Pays me. A friend of mine was like this. He told me this 4 or 5 years ago. He was like a VP of this big growing company with his friend. He was always busy. He was always going on trips. He was working his ass off, right? And he's making pretty good money. And he's like, dude, I just got a corporate job with benefits, 9 to 5. I get paid a little bit less, but he's like, it's so much less stress. I know what to expect. And isn't that the equivalent of like going monogamous in some ways? You would hope. But I think what happens with a lot of the red pill communities, they did that, and then the wife cleaned him out,
Sure.
divorced him, and they're like, they want blood, you know?
I want some blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want some revenge.
So, but now when I was looking around today about this dating advice, the thing that's crazy now is you're not just going to get, you're going to get these, you're going to get all this dating advice, and what happens now is everyone takes from everyone else the same stuff and then remixes it and then goes with what's hot. And now what's really interesting is you have females out there knowing that there's this large community of men that are bitter and pissed off and are finding women to be pretentious and full of themselves, which there's a lot of that with Instagram and whatnot. I'm in agreement with it. My problem with it is if you buy into that for all women, that's what you're gonna find. So what are the alternatives? What are the solutions? Like what like I said, could you move? If you live in a place like Miami, and I haven't lived in Miami, is it more pretentious there than most places? LA. I've actually been through LA. I haven't lived there. Is it more pretentious? Yeah, probably. So consider where you're living, consider where you're hanging out, and consider the content you're taking in. But if you look at it too, this is a good way to look at it. You develop this attitude, all the women aren't worth my time. All these women are pretentious. All these women are full of themselves. And all these women that are 5s think they're 10s. That's a big one right now. Right? Okay, so if that's the case, do you know anyone in your sphere of influence, your friends, family, or colleagues that got a good girl? That you're like, actually, she's a pretty good girlfriend. And guess what? You might go, she's a 6 or a 7 in looks. You might have something bad to say or something like that, but you're like, she's a really good girlfriend. She's not pretentious. She's not full of herself. So you could just prove to yourself that they're actually out there. Is that accurate, B?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you have enough friends and family, you probably go, actually, you know what? Rick's girlfriend's pretty cool.
Right. And they're a good match together. You know, they're a good fit, so...
Right. So it's just prove to yourself that it's possible.
Right.
I'm not saying that it's the norm. But if you go on right now, a lot of this YouTube stuff, they're just feeding off getting you amped up so you watch more videos, right? But the interesting thing is there's such a variety of advice on different spectrums. It's so funny because I just went through it today before we got on the show, and I was like, all right, let me just look up dating advice and let me look at a few different people. We're going to review this.
And the stuff that pops up.
Oh my God. And the stuff that's popular.
Right, right.
The stuff that gets clicked. Because let's face it, we're in a click culture. So even, I go on YouTube, thumbnails count. Look at this woman's thumbnail. Now tell me what you think of this thumbnail. And you know what the title of the video is?
What?
How to Destroy a Woman's
Oh, yeah.
Ego. Right? Her name's Melly Monaco. She's a very popular channel. And guess what? I'm going to be very honest with you. I clicked. And her thumbnails always have the same view. All right? Okay.
She's trying to play into something.
Try or not try. Good for you.
Right.
Use your assets. Literally, you know what I mean? It's like... Now, here's an interesting thing. The video's called To Destroy a Woman's Ego. Right? To destroy a woman's ego. So, let me ask you this. Just by looking at this picture, and like I said, I get it. Right? This is equivalent of like a buff guy making a thumbnail with no shirt on, right? It's like, okay. Doesn't have the same effect because guys are just a little bit more... attracted to eye candy, probably. Now, do you think she might have an ego?
Yeah.
I said this yesterday. What you see in me, what I see in you,
Right.
I see in me. So she's like, you need to destroy some of these women's egos. It's like, first of all, let me just rewind, okay? How about dating women with less of an ego? How about filtering for, someone that's not on that spectrum rather than assume that they're all like this.
Sure.
But I would say, like, to give advice like this, you'd have to be a woman with ego. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, I always use, like, the innocence of a kindergarten teacher, right? Because you'd think that someone in that field would be less ego.
Right.
Could be wrong.
You could be wrong, but generally speaking, you'd think that's...
I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I was a teacher for years, and I
Right.
worked with a lot of
Sure.
wholesome, non-ego women. So I'm saying, like, if you use these tactics on one of those women, you'll just lose them because they don't have the ego. So starting with the idea that they all have an ego that you need to destroy, you need to find a woman with an ego first to put this to work. So why even start there? Why not start? Why not start at this part and go, I really want to find a down-to-earth girl. Where would she be? What would she study? Where would she hang out? Instead of going, all of them are like this, and I'm going to destroy egos. Because
Right.
to me, what you're going to do is the girls that don't have egos, the ones that would be really good girlfriends, they'll be ashes to ashes, dust to dust, goodbye.
See ya.
Right?
Yep.
Are you kind of curious about this video, though?
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
have no
watch
idea-
it all
I
the
have
way
no
through
idea.
for obvious reasons, B, right? You're drooling. So, I mean, it's It's one of those things. These are the things that this video has like 380,000 views.
Oh, wow.
Right? And we'll look at afterwards, we're going to compare to destroy a woman's ego. And then we're going to look at Craig Kenneth. Hi, guys. How to be her Superman. That's the title of his video. That's the title of the video, bro.
All right.
Literally, how to be her Superman. So my point is, you have these opposite spectrum advice, right?
Right.
But what my advice to you is, right? If I'm going to give you the best dating advice that you could get right now, the best dating advice right now in 2022, identify what you want. Marriage, kids, girlfriend, friends with benefits, or a rotation. And guess what? Women have rotations. They don't call them that.
No.
But good for them. Now, if that's what you want to be playing the field right now. And then there's the people that are like, oh, I just don't know what I want. I'm just going to let fate take it. All right, fine. But just identify which one.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number one. Now, if you want marriage, kids, or a girlfriend, a good girlfriend, I'd say you're probably going to have trouble with the red pill content conflicting some of that stuff. Not all of it.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've seen, it almost directly.
But just make sure like the stuff you're looking at, you're like, this guy would probably pull the kind of girl that I would want or identify. Number two, follow content that supports what you want. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to follow a female giving advice, right? We talked about Marnie before.
Oh, yeah.
This female that we're going to review today, is this someone that's going to like support what you want, right? Number three, do not take tactics or strategies from people you don't like or identify with their values. So what's happening a lot now, it's like they got 1 million subscribers and they got 2 million views, so they're a source here.
So it's validation to
right,
they're right.
But you have to bend your values to meet their values. That's the problem. Number four, ask yourself, where am I getting advice? A good source for what I really want. And then, like I said, you want to change where you hang out and change the friends you're with. Paul D says Craig Kenneth is more focused on relationship skills. Well, if you go to his channel, he's got like 400, I don't know, he's got a lot of videos.
He's got a lot of content.
And How to Be Her Superman is the title of the one I'm going to review today, right? Okay. All right, we got 10 on deck, so I'm going to roll this video, How to Destroy a Woman's Ego. I'm going to first say as a disclaimer, I don't agree going into dating with the idea that you're going to destroy a woman's ego. Because to me, if you're dating some woman that has a big ego or too big for you, why not just stop dating her?
What are you doing with her? What are you doing?
Because it seems to like feed the beast, right?
Yeah, you're dating this woman with a huge ego, and then you're going to try to change her or something? I don't know.
Let me challenge myself to find a woman with a big ego. And by the way, to destroy a woman's ego takes a big ego on your end. Think about that, right? All right, let's get into it.
"14 ways that are proven to destroy women's ego." Yeah, I know the women are gonna hate me today, but hey, those women sometimes they be thinking they're like, I don't know, I don't want to rate women, but they be thinking they're fucking 10 because you guys, not you because you guys know better, but because some men be like putting them on the pedestal, acting like, oh my God, they're like some creature that they've never seen. And because of that, those women think like they're better than what they are, or they be thinking that their value is higher than yours. Once they think that their value is higher than yours, it's over. They're not going to be interested. Most women want to date up. So they're not going to go for somebody that they feel like is less than them. So you got to destroy her ego. And I know it sounds bad, like destroy her ego. It's bad. But some women fucking need it because I'm going to be a little mean or a little real. We'll say real. Some women are really like 4 and 5. Seriously. Maybe all they have is looks. Some of them don't even have looks. But because they're women, you know, they get all these attentions from thirsty guys. And then they think they're like fucking 10 when they're not even that good looking. And they're not even just the looks. Where's the brain? The brain is fucking missing. And because you guys are gassing them up, they think they're somebody. And they think they're better than you. So today, I'm going to tell you what you need to do to make sure that she don't think like she's better than you. Because the moment she thinks she's better than you, you're done. So you always have to be looked at as higher value than her. So before we start, I started a Patreon at www.patreon.com/MellyMonaco. So if you want to check me over there, see a little more sexiness, more pictures, and some extra videos too, talking about me a little and some tips. Yes, so it's a bunch of shit over there. So go over there if you want to support me. So anyways, 14 ways to destroy her ego. Yes. Little disclaimer before we start. This is gonna work only on women that think that they're the shit and that nobody can touch them, but actually they're not. You know, so those are like the one I would call kind of like bitches. Because
And who does that sound like based on this video?
So like you said before, like this just seems like a lot of work, like to start off a relationship or to get with a girl, and you have to go through all these things to like destroy her and knock her down. Like just move on, like find someone more on your level.
But do you think she's an ego person?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
You can find some of my other videos of my sexiness.
Right.
It's like, okay. And I'm just going to say it right now. There's some 4s and 5s that think they're up. Who makes you the judge? This is one of the biggest things out there. Everyone's a judge of everyone. Who makes you the judge of a 4 or 5 out there that thinks they're too tight? Right?
In her eyes. Somebody else, it could be a 6 or 7. Who knows?
Yeah, it's like, what if your chest looked like your back? Would you still have this attitude, hun? Is this... It's a big thing to say, right? I mean, this is a big part of why she gets attention. Let's be honest.
they already decided in their mind, like, you know, they're better than you. And those women need to be dealt with the proper way. So don't get me wrong. Don't do that with women that actually know their real value, their actual value, because it's not going to work for them. You're going to act like that with them and they're going to be like, get the fuck out of here. But the women who don't know their values for real, they're going to fall for that. And you're going to get her. So let's go. Number one, never validate her looks. You cannot. I am sorry. Yes, I know. I mean, I would tell you, give me compliment. I love it, but I feel I can handle compliment and I always appreciate compliment. But a lot of women, their ego is going to be boosted so high that they're going to think like they're better than you. Just because you think she's fine, now she's better. Do not compliment her looks. You can give compliments as far as like her personality, her energy, you know, that one is a nice compliment, or something that she's done. Oh my God, I love how so comfortable you are talking to people in public. You know, stuff like that. Compliments like that, because you don't want to put her on a pedestal. Also, every guy is fucking, especially if she's beautiful, and even the ones that are not beautiful, people are gassing them up left and right. All guys are doing it. So you come off as like just a regular dude who is doing the same shit that everybody else is doing, and she's not going to value you. The more you boost her, the less she's going to want to pursue you. Number two, you never ask for commitment. No, like never. With those girls, you know, they're so used to guys being like, oh, I want to be in a relationship, oh, this, that. No, you're the dude that's like way too cool. You don't need the commitment. You don't need to have that conversation, because you know what? You probably enjoy having other bitches. You can make her feel like maybe the commitment will come, or maybe you're not talking to other women, but you're never going to ask for that. The less you ask for commitment, the more she's going to want it. It's just something mental, like, oh, how dare he not wanting to be my boyfriend? He doesn't want me to be his girlfriend, yet it's been a month or two we're talking, he still hasn't asked me to be his girlfriend. That's going to drive her crazy, and then she's going to pursue you more to try to convince you that she's the one that needs to be your girlfriend. Also, by telling her that you want commitment from her, she's going to feel like, oh, she's the best that you can get. Number three, never chase for validation. Yes. Why do you give a fuck about what she thinks of you? Why do you give a fuck about, oh, she needs to tell you?
Sounds like a lot of the same information. Yeah, never chase for validation's good advice.
I think that's good, actually.
There's a lot of stuff that here is good. It's just rewrapping some old stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think you got to take it for what it is. Like, if you're out there just being single and want to hook up, yeah, maybe like these things will work just to hook up with a girl that's getting a lot of attention. But, you know, to make like a relationship or something work.
No, the advice isn't bad. It's just the funny part to destroy a woman's ego. Right? Like, that's the part that gets me. Not all the stuff is bad. It's just the way it's being packaged here.
Sure.
And she's also putting herself on a throne. Well, I take compliments well. But a lot of other women's out there don't take compliments.
But I do. I'm okay. I'm good.
She looks extremely humble, by the way, right?
Definitely, yep.
Oh my God, you look so nice in those pants. I'm not saying it's not nice to hear, but do not like go fishing. You go fishing for those compliments because you come off as fucking insecure. You don't need to hear compliments from other people because you know you're the shit. You know you look good. You know when you walk on the street, everybody is fucking staring at you. You don't need no fucking compliment from her. If she wants to give them, that's fine. But don't be asking like, how do I look? You think I look good, huh? Like, shut the fuck up. You know you look good. You don't need to ask her. You know that she thinks you look good too. Number 4 goes kind of with number 3. Dress really nicely when you go outside with her. Always, always. You know what? Because you want to take the attention away from her. So she's going to walk down the street and then usually she's used to like everybody, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Oh my God, like, you know, turning heads. This time, nobody's turning heads for her. They're turning heads for you because they're like, damn, he's fine. Like women are gonna start looking at you and be like, oh, okay, shit. Yes, that's gonna drive her crazy because most women have never been in that situation where the attention is on the man. No, women want the attention on themselves and they usually get that. So the fact that you're able to switch it up and make her feel like, oh, wow, he's the prize now because everybody wants him. Everybody looks at him like, yo, I need to be on my best behavior. I need to keep up. I need to look good all the time. Like she's going to start competing with you because she want to look good or look better than you and have people looking at her instead of you. And I'm telling you, her ego is going to be hurt. Like a dude that looks better than me, I'm like, okay. I mean, me, I'd be flattered. I'd be like, hey, I'm with him. I don't give a fuck. You know, but a lot of women, they can't handle that. They want the attention on them exclusively. And she's gonna realize that other women want you, so she gotta secure her spot and make sure she's always good. Number 5, which goes a little bit with number 4, look at other women. I'm not telling you be like, you know, but like she gotta see that your eyes are not just like focused on her and that there's still competition. So therefore, if bitch you act up, you know what's gonna happen. All these bitches are gonna come through and I'm gonna allow them to come through because they want me. You gotta have that mentality where nobody can tell you shit. You know you're the shit and you know you can get whoever you want. So you gotta show her that you still see other bitches. Number 6, never get jealous about other men who are around her. Yes, she's beautiful and men are gonna be around her or she's gonna try to make you jealous and be like, oh my God, my DMs and you know. You don't react. You do not react because the moment you react, it shows that you are not confident and that a better man can take your place and that a better man can take her from you. So no.
Good. That's solid advice right there.
Yeah.
Look good.
Dress nicely.
Dress
I like
nice.
that.
Great.
Never get jealous. This is an interesting one because I don't think you can be a non-jealous person and still get jealous in any relationship under a certain circumstance.
Yeah.
And especially if you're with a good-looking woman. There's gonna be
like she
gets attention, right?
Yeah.
You're not jealous by nature, but how you handle that. So the idea, like, never get jealous. Listen, human beings, you're a human being. I ask the chat right now, is there anyone here that would say, I'm not a jealous person, but I've been jealous before? So like when you tell yourself never get jealous, that's extreme. How do you handle when you get jealous is different, rather than making a big deal out of it. If you get jealous, you got to ask yourself, what am I really getting jealous over? Is it my insecurity or the fact that my girlfriend's going too far with this? Then you have to have a discussion. Someone just in the live stream recently told me that his girlfriend had all these DMs and all this action from Instagram and all this stuff. And someone like, oh, you're just jealous? No, you need to have a fucking conversation. Jealousy might be sometimes when you're not a jealous person, jealousy might be an indicator that something's wrong with her behavior and if she's being disrespectful. But if you're just jealous because you can't just say, I'll never get jealous. Right? I don't get jealous in relationships too often, but I know when it happens, I have to look at what were the actions that involved this, right? Now, just having a girlfriend that's good looking or a girl that you're with get stares or looks, no problem at all.
No problem.
But if you're at like a party or something like that, and she's talking to a guy in the corner for a little bit too long, being a little too chatty, this hasn't really happened to me too many times. But I can see not just jealousy, but like, hey, we need to talk. Like, where's the point of disrespect?
Right.
So jealousy could be an indicator like we need to talk about this. We need to set up a little boundary or whatever you want to call it. All right, let's get back into it.
Oh, you gotta be relaxed and be like, yeah, baby, go talk. Go do what you do. Because in your mind, you know, you're not gonna find somebody better than me. So you can talk to other people and have all these dudes around you. You're still gonna be a right here, bitch, because I am the fucking shit. She can find somebody better than you. She cannot replace you and have a come up. No, it's gonna be a downgrade for sure. Number 7, never be too available for her. Yes, you can't. I know it's backward because you would think, well, she wanna spend time with me, so I gotta like give her some time. But no, the more you're gonna give, the more she's gonna see you as low value because she thinks like she can do whatever, she can request whatever.
Just have to throw this out there. If a female is giving me advice on what to do with women and she keeps referring to other women as bitches, right? Which is not, doesn't offend me or anything. I get it, right? But like, am I gonna prefer to get advice like that if I don't call my girlfriend or a girl I'm interested in a bitch?
Or other girls.
I know how that term gets thrown around, right? And I'm not sensitive to it or anything like that. It's not like that. But like, do you know what I'm saying?
There's something there, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, bitch, you know, like over and over, it's like, what kind of standard are we holding here of what you're pursuing? Because a girl that I'm dating or a girl that I'm interested in having a relationship with, I'm not going to refer to her as a bitch all the time, right? I mean, it seems like the women that she's talking about though aren't like, you know, the highest, you know what I mean? Like, right. And this is my point about dating advice these days. If this is the kind of,
right,
she's giving advice on how this is what I'm going to come home to every time. She's giving advice to deal with someone like her. That's the way I take it. All right.
Whatever of you, she can tell you, hey, we need to go here tonight, and you're gonna change your plans for her. No, bitch, I need more notice. I have a life, I have goals, I'm doing some other shit. So no, I cannot just be available just whenever. Maybe you are available, but you gotta play the game. You can't be that available for her. Also, by not being so available, she's gonna start realizing when she comes around, she's lucky, oh my God, he gave me an hour of his time. And then she's just gonna be on your dick the whole time because she knows that her time is very small. She's gonna try to prove to you, okay, you know, I'm so fun, I'm so outgoing, we have a good time together, so you need to give me more, you know. So she's really gonna be on her best behavior. Number 8, put your goals above hers. Like, it's a fact. I don't understand why men, when they're so into their women, their goal becomes secondary. No, I am sorry. You're still the man of the fucking house. You're still the one that has to handle your life because, you know, I mean, it's gonna sound crazy what I'm about to say, but you know, women can do nothing and still have a good life. As a man, it's gonna be way harder for you to have a good life when you do nothing. No, you have to work, you have to go make your money, unless you find a shoe.
Just care about yourself, man. Fuck
So
it.
just think about this. It's like, let me just be honest. Women don't have to do anything. She's talking about her own morals and values here. Like let's just be honest, right?
Yeah.
Just consider, like I said, don't have a problem with it. But if you're getting advice like this, don't be surprised if you get pretentious women or women with big egos. If this is it, if you're gonna be,
Who are you filtering for?
300,000 plus views here,
Right.
highly entertaining individual.
Yeah, I will say that she's entertaining.
I don't think this is outrageous at all. I think it's up to par with the kind of content that's popular right now. That's my point. Is that stuff like this sells for obvious reasons, and it's okay for entertainment purposes.
But take
now,
it for
if you-
that. Take it for entertainment value.
Well, I mean,
right?
well, some of it's like, yeah, dress nicely, groundbreaking.
Cool, good
Right?
stuff.
Like,
yeah.
put your goals above hers. I'm with you. Yeah, those are good. Be like, you know, refer to her as a bitch all the time. I don't know about that. So, like, strain out what you would use and what you wouldn't use. But here's the thing. When you watch a lot of these videos, this is my point. Even if they're just entertainment, they still bleed into your subconscious,
Just because you're taking it in all the time, right? Yeah.
right? If you watch enough of these, you'll be like, all of a sudden people are like, this bitch I was dating. And you're like, okay. Like I said, I'm not offended by that or anything. It doesn't make me uncomfortable, but it's like, what are you looking for? right? If you were dating your future wife or you're looking for that, or is that where you're going to go with it?
Sugar mama, but what are the odds of that? As men, you guys always need to take care of yourself. So therefore, your goals need to be higher than hers, always. And then if you have some extra time, you can help her, you can hang out more or whatever, but your goal is always higher than hers. Number 9, never argue with her or get emotional. I know that's a tough one because bitches be annoying, you be liking them, and then but the more you argue, the more you're showing her how invested you are in her. And when she feels like, oh, he's so invested, now she feels like she can go even crazier. What you need to do when a bitch start arguing, bitch, because today we're talking about bitches that don't know shit, So when a bitch acts like that and she brings the drama, she starts yelling, she starts arguing, you tell her what? Yo, I don't argue. We can talk about this another day when you're not all in your feelings, but right now you can leave. You tell a bitch to leave, like those type of bitches I'm not talking about like the good women that you might want to be with. But a girl that's like that, you tell her that, first of all, she's not going to want to leave because she's going to be like, excuse me. Usually people argue with me, like, how come you don't want to argue? And then when she comes back around after she wasn't able to argue, she's not going to try to argue again because she knows if she argues, it's risky. She's going to get thrown out again. You're going to tell her again, yo, what I told you last time, I don't argue. You don't raise your voice, you don't go crazy or nothing. You're like, yo, I don't argue. So if that's how you want to handle the situation, you can go. That's it. You're not mean. I mean, it's a little mean and like a little dry, but I don't do that. Number 10, you guys are gonna be like, are you for real? But hey, I am telling you, this shit works. We're playing games today. I know, but we're playing a little game. So don't go down on her. Never. You don't. Because going down is kind of seen as like, oh, I trust her, I really like her, that's why I'm going down. Because I hear a lot of men like, I don't go down like this, like I need to really like you. I hear that. So in women, we know that. So as soon as you go down, we're like, oh, he really likes me. That might be a lie, who knows? But if you don't do it, we're gonna start asking ourselves, why he doesn't do it? Does he not like me enough? Or does he not trust me? Does he not want to be with me? Does he not want to pleasure me? Does he not think I'm special? Going down is supposedly reserved for special women in your life, supposedly. But she's gonna start wondering what's going on because she's not used to that. All 10 motherfuckers are going down on her and she's having a great time, But I'm telling you, if you start not going down on women, it's gonna drive them crazy. I mean, I'm telling you that it might be a little risky because some women are gonna be like, what the fuck, you don't go down? I mean, that would be me. I'd be like, you don't go down on me, but you want me to suck your dick? I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. So be careful, but I'm telling you, it kind of works. Number 11, still on the sex stuff. Don't be so eager to have sex with her. No. Sex? What is sex? You need to act like sex is the last thing on your mind and that you're not like there for the sex. Obviously, you are there for the sex. But all men are acting like so thirsty. Please let me lick your pussy, let me fuck, If you are the guy that's acting like sex is the last thing on your mind, she's gonna be like, wait, it doesn't see me as that sexual. It doesn't think my booty big enough. She's gonna start wondering like, what's wrong with you? Like there's nothing wrong. You're gonna come off as somebody that's different because most men want to fucking fuck right away, I'm not saying don't try nothing. Like, for example, you can like be making out and then she's like, no, stop, not right now. A lot of men are going to like try to pursue and convince and keep on going, no, let me kiss you some more. Until the girl is wet enough where she's like, okay, I can take it, like take it, No. What you do when she pull her back a little bit, you're like, I'm chilling too. Like, I don't care. Like, I was just kissing you. Hey, you don't want to go there right now? You don't have to voice it. You just be chilling. She say, okay, let's come in down. Yeah, let's come in all the way down. You don't press the issue because sex is the last thing on your mind, supposedly. And watch how she's gonna react. She's gonna try to convince you actually, yo, my pussy good. I don't know why you don't want it. I'm telling you, when women think that you don't really want to fuck, they're gonna try to chase you. They're gonna try to convince you that you really want them buns. Yes. Number 12. Another tough one, don't hit her up after sex. Yes, I know it sounds bad, or you can kind of like ignore her for a little bit.
Like, think about this. If you were meeting a girl that's quote unquote maybe a good girl, maybe high value, and you just ignore her. This would be something you'd do if you were like, there's nothing to this.
Right.
Like, we're not going to hook up again, or you're like,
Sure.
She was very clingy. Some of the, but she's talking about someone to attract them more.
To really attract, yeah.
Like, to me personally, I would say you don't need to jock or over pursue, right? Or be really giddy about it, but having having some interaction, whether that's text or calls after you've, like, you wouldn't ignore her afterwards if it was good and you enjoy. I mean,
Right.
to me, it's like you're targeting insecure women with manipulative tactics. This will work for a small percentage.
That's what all of this is. It's for
But-
insecure women.
I think she's giving advice of what might work for someone like herself.
Sure.
But I could be wrong.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll have to get her on the show. We'll have to email her and see if she wants to get interviewed.
I know it sounds terrible, but I'm not saying you're ghosting her all the way. She just needs to know that, yo, sex was cool, but it's not what's on your mind. You know, so she can text you, or you can tell her, hey, don't be a stranger, text me sometimes or whatever. And then you see, so the door is open for her to come and text you. But what you need to do is not text her. You make sure you do not text her, because the moment you text her, especially if it's like right after, a day or two after, she's gonna be like, oh yeah, my pussy was so good. That's why he's back and he wants some more. He's trying to take me out to see if he can get some more. You don't want her to put that in her head. In a way, you don't even act like the pussy was good. Even if you were like drowning in the pussy and you're like, oh my God, you need to act like the pussy was kind of regular. Don't tell her your pussy was regular, but you gotta act like it was all good. Like, yeah, I had better, kind of, you know. You gotta play it cool. Number 13, be random when you text her, or sometimes you can even leave her on red. If you're bold enough, leave her on fucking red for a day and then you come back, or you read it in the morning and then you come back at night. You know, you gotta show her that you are busy. You gotta be unpredictable too. Like, do not start you know, you guys be doing that, the good morning every fucking morning. No, now she knows like, oh, it's 8:30 a.m. I'm about to get a text. No, she gotta be like kept on her toes and not knowing.
Actually heard women confirm this, that they don't like good morning check-ins or afternoons, but I would say that this doesn't apply to all women. I've heard women, like, when they first start dating, like, hey, how are you, or just check-ins, or after they just hooked up once. But they're usually women that are more independent, a little bit more on the masculine side. I would say feminine, soft, kind, sweet women. I don't think you need there's a sweet spot,
Right.
no pun intended,
Right.
but it's like, you could do what she's saying and be with a really good girl or good woman. And so what I would suggest is develop some intuition, some emotional intelligence to realize that women are different, right? Right?
Right.
And so certain women that you're dating would be ones to lay off the texting or to leave on red. Like, after you've already hooked up, like, to me, that's a huge barrier broke for both of you once you guys hook up. It's like, we both, once you hook up, guards let down, we like each other. There's a little less game playing, hopefully, right? It's like we've gotten to that point where we're both attracted to each other. And if the intimacy was really good, then there's no reason. Like, you know if it was good on your end and if it was good on their end, unless you're being completely ignorant.
Right.
There's certain, cues for that. Right? So
Yeah.
when you're just saying, oh yeah, I wouldn't call afterwards, and you had incredible bedroom activities and intimacy, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I don't call them because I'm just trying to play. It's like,
Play it
does that
cool.
make sense?
Nah.
I don't know. All right, let's get back to this. Hold on. P. Morton says, I'd need her in studio. Adonis, this is true. Too busy for good morning text daily. It is true. It is true. I'm not against daily. Like I said, I'm just saying that there's certain women that you get to a certain point that if you just did this all the time and you're looking for a good relationship with a quote unquote good woman, and this is what I mean, like, look at your friends, family, and colleagues, and if you're like, there is some good women still left,
They're out there. Yeah.
right? That you
They're out
like.
there.
Do you have any friends that have a wife or girlfriend that you're like, she's a good girlfriend? You probably don't know everything, but these kind of tactics, not all of them, because some of what she's saying is true. These kind of tactics, they're gonna work on the ego-based women that you don't want. It's like a dog chasing his tail, man. It's just funny. I get it. I get the advice. I'm not saying it's bad advice. Who are you targeting, though? That's the thing, right? It's like you go fishing. You pick a certain kind of bait for a certain kind of lake for a certain kind of fish,
Yeah, true.
right? Now, the fishermen that aren't really good, they just show up with worms.
And they'll
You ever
Yeah.
gone fishing before and it's like, oh, I'm just using worms. It's like, oh, yeah, you don't fish often, do you? It's like
get whatever.
you saw it in a movie, right? Okay, so you get my point, folks?
What's gonna happen? You text her in the morning, at night, something small, something bigger, like, you know, don't be predictable because women love mystery. So the moment they feel like they know where you stand, or that they know they figured you out, or that they know you really like them, it's kind of like the end of you for those type of bitches. It's the end of you once she knows where you stand. You don't want to text with a pattern. You want her to wonder, like, does he like me? Does he not? Like, I'm confused. Like, dudes be doing that. I'm telling you, and I'm telling you, it works because some women are just gonna be like, oh my God.
The mystery thing's true. That's true. Like there is an element of a little game playing, a little mystery, but here's the ironic thing, right? Is women on the other end and certain dating advice. I said this to Andrew forgot the French relationship guru. He's telling women to do the same thing to guys. That's what I'm saying, like it is true that women like a little mystery. They like a challenge, especially if a woman's good looking or something like that. They won't say that. Mm-hmm. This is why you don't get advice from a good looking woman or something like that on dating. And guys always do it because the woman will be like, oh, do this, do the sweet thing, do the nice thing. Because the woman's like, I don't like it when guys don't call me or leave me hanging. But the reality is you like that guy more because he's more on your mind. This is during the beginning phase of when you're dating.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, if you hook up, if you hook up and you really like each other and you like her, like, you can let down the gates of the game playing a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now, you don't go all in and open up the floodgates and start, conveying that you're the one and you're my soulmate and fucking getting roses and wine glasses and all that other shit. Mm-hmm. No, but you are allowed to, drop the red pill out of the game a little bit and just start going, just go on another date and hook up again and have fun and be present and all those other things. Like, the games can but the reason why I'm saying this is because I feel like if you apply this to every woman, that's why when you're dating, you should be taking real-time notes in your head. Like, first of all, when you get to this idea of what works and what doesn't work, there's some basics, right? There's some basics. And as you get older, you get better at this stuff. Or if you're in your 20s and you just date a lot, you'll get better at it. But you have to ask yourself, the biggest thing I could suggest and recommend in my experience now, start filtering for what you want. No one does this. Everyone's an opportunist. Be a specialist. Like, what am I really looking for? So then when you go out on a date, it's not about bagging her or destroying her ego or controlling her. It's like, if you are a rotation guy, is this even one that you want in the rotation? Or is it just an opportunity? Because then you become a scavenger.
Good word, yeah.
Scavenger's much different, man. Yeah. It's like, that's not envious. Mm-mm. It's like, there's guys out there I know, I got a rotation. It's like, you're hooking up with that girl? Dude, she's cool. Yeah, okay. Missing a few teeth, right? She buys me lunch, though. Yeah, I'm sure she does, dude. All right, let's get back into it.
God, I'm so intrigued. It's dumb. Me, I want you to text me all day long, but a lot of guys, they be just texting randomly, and women are like, okay, I like this. Okay, I'm telling you, try it. By you doing that, she's gonna see you as high value because you got shit going on and you don't have an alarm clock, 8:30, oh, let me text. It's not like that. It's just.
All right, can't watch that anymore. Any thoughts on that? Let me get into the live stream real quick. We'll get back to, and the whole reason I'm saying the best dating advice, filter for what you're looking for. Take advice from people you respect. Consider strategy over opportunist. Okay, that's the best dating advice. And so when you're getting advice like this, she's given a lot of, I'd say half the stuff is the common stuff that's out there. And what happens is you watch more and more videos. It's the same stuff repackaged. Okay, there's only so much dating advice you can get, right? It's like you used to play baseball, but there's only so much advice how to hit a ball right? And you're like, yeah, my coach told me that.
Got it.
Right? Keep your head down, do the, like
Right.
it's all similar in the dating game. But what people lose track of is like what you really want. But if you're using tactics from someone that you learned on YouTube, but you're not like them, but you're trying to be like them, you're gonna lose too, man. So let me stop this one. So the whole point of this today was to show you some different perspectives and how many different perspectives are out there. So we're gonna switch tides swiftly.
Say that one again.
Switch tides swiftly
we
into
go.
a Craig Kenneth video.
All right.
Into how to be her Superman. I can't even get it out.
I'm excited. Let's go.
How to Be Her Superman by Craig Kenneth. You might want to take notes on this. And I would just be curious, what would be really fun is if we were able to get the woman that was just on, her name was Melly Monaco, if you want to check her out. If Melly Monaco was able to watch this video of Craig Kenneth on how to be a Superman, how much she would agree with. All right, let's get into it. We got Adonis. Adonis, I haven't seen you in a while, bud. Last we spoke, I was just super broken up over an ex, back in a relationship with a great chick. Glad to hear it, bud. I remember I think you were from SoCal, but you used to go to the Bay Area quite a bit, if I'm correct. Sabina, good to see you. Pete Morton says, I sent roses once. That was the beginning of the end. 21-year-old me was such a simp. Man, I don't think I've ever sent roses. And I don't think that's because I'm too cool. Have you?
To my wife. that's it. I mean, to someone I was just
I'm trying to think.
dating?
I've
I don't know.
bought a rose numerous times where I was at a bar or a restaurant when they go and sell them like
yeah.
around
Yeah.
spontaneously
Right.
for my girlfriend at the time. And I don't find anything simpish in that, as long as you're not doing it because
If it's fun, like just
it's your girlfriend or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
But I mean, sent roses. But the funny thing is I had a Valentine's Day where I was just starting to date this woman, and she sent me a dozen roses.
Wow.
To my school that I was working at.
Really? Okay.
I was like,
Okay.
this is kind of weird. She liked me, and I didn't find it simpish on her end. Can a woman be a simp?
I don't. I'm
Is that
sure.
possible?
I'm sure. But
Van Paul said, Van Paul, welcome, Van Paul. Can I call you VP? Flowers are a death sentence. I'll just say it. It's never been a thing. And I'm also one of those people never use can I buy you a drink?
The generic.
V just gets stuck right there. He's like,
the generic. I'm gonna buy you something.
I'm like in the name of this is gonna work.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about buying a drink too, is it's in every fucking movie.
Yeah.
Right? So I was just watching Knocked Up, Seth Rogen.
Right.
Classic, right?
Classic.
It's a good movie because what gets me about that movie is Seth Rogen with his buddies and them living together.
Oh yeah,
That seems how they would really be.
Oh yeah.
Like if they lived together, the joking and stuff. But there's a scene where he goes to the bar and buys the cute girl. I don't know her name and as an actress, forgive me.
The main girl.
Yeah, and Seth Rogen's like this, dork stoner that owns it. That's why, by the way, Seth Rogen, it's possible for him to pull some chicks because he owns who he is.
He's authentic, right?
Yeah. So and he's funny.
Right.
So that's the thing about this thing where someone's trying to be someone they're not, and it just shines. So he goes to the bar, right? He goes to the bar in the movie and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And he has some cheesy line, and then he's like, "Well, let me get you a drink." And he ends up talk about. I don't like using the word simp because I never used it when I was young. It sounds.
It's a fairly new term anyway.
It isn't. It's like from the 1920s, evidently.
I've only heard
people.
That's crazy.
When you get into these labels and stuff, people are like, "Oh no, simps!" Like they have the whole trajectory.
of
narcissists is the same way. So he goes to the bar and he's like, "Oh, he has some cheesy line, corny line." Of course, she laughs in the movie.
Right.
Right. Like
So it's gonna work in real life too,
bro.
right?
You see it in the movie. And you're like, this would never happen.
Right.
right? It would never happen. And then he's like, whoa, let me show you something. And he grabs 2 beers and throws the guy like his money and like walks away from the counter. And she's like, oh, I forgot to get my sister something. He's like, just take my beer. Now that's a simp move, right? It's like, and then he goes back to the bar and he's like, fuck, that was stupid. That was stupid. And that's the part where it's like a guy like that would really act that way. And then they end up going and talking to her. Right. He ends up hooking up with her and getting her knocked up. Then that's the movie. But it's just kind of funny. Yeah. Some of the things they show in movies, oh my goodness. So I think what's come out since that is this opposite effect. And I think there's a lot of people out there giving advice of what they would do or what works for them, but it might have came natural to them or it's part of their personality. And that's why I said, like, for Seth Rogen in that movie, he plays characters of like who he really is.
Yeah. All the movies I've seen of him.
He's not going to make a movie. He's not going to make a movie where he's like a Robert De Niro character. Okay, no. He's not making a new Godfather. That's for sure. All right, let's get into this Craig Kenneth video. If you guys are curious, how to be her Superman. So we're just looking at some contrast advice that's out there right now.
Superman, the kryptonite, if you will. And I'm also going to talk to you about how you can put on a cape and be your woman's superhero. So, I've got an email here from Ernie who said, hey Craig, I've been watching your videos and I have to say, excellent job. I get a little overwhelmed trying to learn everything. I really liked your videos, how to make your partner feel loved, and the real reason relationships fail. I was wondering if you could do another video on things to make relationships healthier. I would love to be the kind of man that my woman always dreamed of. Alright, so I am going to do this video for you because I think it's really important for you guys to understand what you have to do to be a superhero for your woman. What you have to do to be able to wear a cape for her. Now, when I say cape, I'm not talking about the kind of cape that Frank Costanza's lawyer wears, or Superman for that matter. I'm talking about CAPE as an acronym. And CAPE stands for curiosity, acceptance, playfulness, and empathy. Now, guys, we all know that making relationships work is not easy. And I hear a lot of people complain that a relationship shouldn't be this much work. And I say, well, they are avoidant attachment style people. Because I've found that people that have an avoidant attachment style are the ones that complain the most about relationships shouldn't have to be this much.
Oh, here we go. The classic, before you date, learn her attach. You don't know this stuff on me.
No, I'm like,
okay. You're like, what is this? There's 4 attachment styles that was developed by one guy in a study in the 1950s. And there's only 4. There's some variables to that. I'm not going to get
let me learn all these attachment styles before I go out on a date.
Well, I mean, well, then you can know how to treat your girlfriend.
Sure.
Right? This is one of those things. What always gets me about this, there's only 4. And then once you identify, you're like, oh, you're avoidant secure attachment. You're avoidant this. So this is what you do.
Right.
It's I'm not going to get into this because I'll just go on a tangent about that. We'll continue to watch how you can be Superman for your girlfriend.
Work. And you know what? I was thinking about that. And there's good reason for why they say that, and that's because for them, relationships are more work than for other people. Because people that have an avoidant attachment style have not learned the skills or the abilities to have a healthy relationship. They've spent their life, dealing with people that, maybe ignored them, abandoned them, abused them, neglected them. They didn't communicate well. And so they're used to that pattern. They were constantly disappointed and hurt by other people. So they really do have to make it work.
So just, before you get into a relationship, make sure you get their attachment style down. And if anyone says you have to work to make relationships work, they're probably an avoidant attachment. So we'll just throw that heavy label on them and some technical things so you can say, I'm a master marriage counselor, such and such, and we do attachment theory. This is such crap. Sorry, dude. This is like this kind of stuff. Oh my goodness. It's like, is there some avoidant attachment people out there that think that relationships take work? That's like a common theme, right? Like, and there's some people, a relationship should never take work. And there's some people, relationships take work. It's just a viewpoint and opinion.
Right.
That's all it is. No one's wrong. No one's right. If you came to me and you're like, relationships take work, I'd be like, what's the work? What's the? If you said, fuck, man, a relationship should never take work, and I'd say, so you haven't had anything that was like that before. What's your relationship like now?
What's the relationship?
Yeah, like ask some questions.
Yeah.
You don't go, oh shit, you're avoidant attachment.
Yeah, there we go. Nailed it.
Let me pull out my book of directions on avoidant attachment. One of my textbooks from Freud.
And unfortunately, the sad part is that despite them wanting to make a relationship work, they don't know how to do it, and then they don't see the relationship as rewarding enough to do that work. Because for them, there's a lot of pain associated with relationships. So, one of the things that I want you guys to understand is that negativity is probably the most toxic thing in a relationship. Now, I've talked about how anxiety destroys relationships, but it's in a lot of ways the anxiety that causes us to be negative. In other words, when we're fearful about something, we start to do things like controlling, manipulating, getting angry at, screaming at that person, because we're trying to force them into being connected with us again. Remember that disconnection when
Negative.
Watch how many trigger words are used. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Negativity is toxic. It's like, you could be negative and be fucking funny. I'm doing it right now with the, you know what I mean? It's like, how are we just going to characterize it as totally toxic? Like, there's some people out there that there's a time to be negative, right? There's a time to let people be negative, right? People overall.
There's some utility.
I
in
love
that.
the pause though. Negative
Negativity.
people are toxic. Fucking groundbreaking shit here. 60,000 views. Beautiful, beautiful work.
we feel that disconnection causes us to get anxiety. And in order to soothe our anxiety, we don't care what we have to do a lot of times. We lose empathy for that person, and we just do and say anything that we can to force them back into that role of feeling connected with them. And if you think about the word negativity, what does it mean? Negation, right? Anything that you do to another person that makes them feel less than you. Now think about how you're doing that all the time and you're just unaware of it. Anytime that you're critical of something that your girl likes to eat or a place to go.
Being negative doesn't mean you're being critical of your girlfriend. So you just switch the tables here. Because I've had people that are just negative people.
In general?
Yeah,
Just
be
in
mindful
general,
of
yeah,
that.
sure.
But like they're not. I've had a girlfriend that's negative a lot, but she's not necessarily critical of me. Like someone could be negative overall and be extremely devout to friends, family, and do you know what I mean? This is why when you box things in, it just annoys me.
Or an activity she enjoys, or a friend that she has. All of those things are negativity. Negative. Then you're negating her. When she has an opinion and you, oh God. Or she tells a story that you've heard 20 times, oh, not that again. That is going to make her feel less than you. Why? Why do we do this? Well,
So on the flip side, be a liar and go, oh my God, that was so interesting.
Right.
It's so funny because the other woman was saying like, show her that you don't care.
Yeah. Right.
This is my point about this contrast of information out there.
Right.
So
Well, I
when
think-
someone's up late at night and they're like, I'm single, I got to get my shit together, and they start going on videos, it's like, who do you go with?
Well, I think their target audience is a little bit different, but yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I just think
Yeah,
it's just such counter stuff, man.
Right.
And you know,
Oh,
when
yeah.
you think about it, like back in the day before there was YouTube, before there was the internet, you know, a young guy would just get advice from his uncle or his big brother. A lot of times it would be someone that they were close to that's a little bit older.
Right. Has
Like
a
I
little
think the first
experience.
advice I got was from like a 5-year older cousin
Right.
about dating or women or how it works. And it was pretty good advice. But like now, if you went on this, right, like 21, 22, you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute, wait, you know. And who are you going to be drawn to? The cool people,
The cool people.
right? I'm not going to say that doesn't apply to
The
Craig.
cool people. The people have a lot of views and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, I think it has to do with our own ego. And we see other people's otherness as a threat to our own ego. And it's very difficult to accept other people's opinions and values that are different than yours. But you have to. And when you can, it's very freeing. You're going to feel like a weight has been lifted when you can accept the other things about your partner that maybe you don't like or enjoy, but you just accept that that's part of them. Because when you give up trying to control all of those things about them, it makes them feel free. And that's what you want. You want to make your partner feel free in a relationship. You want to feel free. You don't want her to insult you or your opinions, do you? I mean, it's a terrible feeling, so don't do that to them. And you're probably doing it a lot more than you realize. And, you know, I've read books and watched videos on how when our ratio of positive to negative gets thrown off, it really sends the relationship in a tailspin. And you want to be in a 5-to-1.
Sorry, I can't listen to this anymore. I haven't watched one of his full videos before. I've stayed away from being critical of other stuff, but this is like, are you open to doing a 5-to-1 ratio with your girlfriend or a girl you're dating on negative? Just give me a
Jeez.
break. I didn't know he talked like a kid that's nervous. There's this.
I mean,
I got to stop it. All right, let me get into the. Let me get like I said, there's just this contrast of advice out there, right? And you're gonna pick what you want, but like start with what you want, right? Let me get into the chat a little bit. I have a couple other videos that are a little bit more fun. Thanks, Craig. Really appreciate it. I never know people can be that much anxious hanging out in public. She do care a whole lot about her image. That's never ending. That was about the female before. Let's see what we got here. Oddly, some girls will ignore red flags and try to be a fixer. Well aware that's a red flag situation. Van Paul says, just walk away. And this idea that you need to make your partner feel free sounds like you're giving in quite a bit. I mean, why wouldn't you want that to happen organically and then deal with the times that there is no freeness individually? Right? Let's get into something a little bit more fun today. I had a video to share Corey Wayne's thoughts on women with OnlyFans. Anyone else out there, if you were dating, thoughts on girls who have OnlyFans, what are your thoughts on that? Let's just get into something fun to close out the live stream here for those who are still on deck. Anyone wants to throw a super chat, that's fine too. That's available. Van Paul, flowers are a death sentence. P. Morton. We got Adonis. Right. Wouldn't do it. Now let's take a quick look at this. We'll close it out on that. Look at the attire. Good for Corey Wayne. He just came out of the gym. He's chilling. Good for you, man. You've done your work to deserve that, bro. Is that how I do it?
On transacting their beauty. She belongs to the streets. Well, I mean, if you think about it, a woman that's doing OnlyFans, what's the difference between her and a stripper? She's basically doing things on camera for money, for desperate guys. And oftentimes there is a pimp. She's doing it for a guy. Maybe she's doing it for her pimp or somebody that she knows. But at the end of the day, that's transactional. That's somebody that's focused on transacting their beauty. She belongs to the streets. Well, I mean, if you think about it, a woman that's doing OnlyFans, what's the difference between her and a stripper?
I don't know. I think it's probably safer to do OnlyFans if you're in your own room.
Yeah.
That'd probably be the one benefit.
Sure.
Than getting touched by sleazy guys that haven't washed their hands in a long time.
Sure.
That'd be the one big one, right?
Right,
It's like you're not going face to face.
Right.
Some other things happen at the strip places that wouldn't happen probably at the enjoyment of a room. So that'd be the biggest difference. I think OnlyFans is here to stay, or things like that are going to be in the foreseeable future.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that you'd want to date someone like that, that's completely up to you. I mean, I've met women before that were erotic dancers, is what they would prefer to call it, or exotic dancers, and I think cool. I do think that, yeah, it's going to be harder for you to have a monogamous long-term relationship, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's not your goal, but it's still actually highly possible.
Not impossible.
To each their own.
Right.
To each their own. Let's take a quick look at that video from Melly Monaco and just take a look at the comments out of curiosity. Let's just kick the can on that real quick. And then we'll... Let's take a look at that. No, that was Jordan Poole. Or Jordan Peterson. Yeah.
Jordan Poole, he's the...
Yeah, I know. All right. So, Melly, you are right. All right, did I get this? Yeah. Let's just take a quick look at these for fun. Melly, you are right. The more attention you give to a woman, the more drama you get. My grandfather once told me you are happily married when your wife complains about you. If she tells people that you are a great husband, you're probably not. Okay. Melly is my girl, and any day and any time. She's a bullseye specialist, always absolutely 100% on point. The key to getting any woman you want or keeping your woman is very simple. See, when someone says getting any woman you want, it's just not, that's just like saying this is how you win the lottery. Be mysterious, be like mathematical equation. Being mysterious is attractive, that's true. Mathematical equation, I think that's a bit far that they cannot figure out, but at the same time be friendly, compassionate, and be about your purpose. What's the purpose? Here's the interesting thing. Be about your purpose gets thrown around everywhere. But no one ever says, like, so what is your purpose?
What's your purpose? I
think if your purpose was, to be a break dancer compared to someone's purpose to be an entrepreneur, those two would have, different wavelengths of women coming your way. I'm currently in a relationship with the most beautiful girl I've ever dated. Congratulations. She is everything I ever want in a woman looks-wise. She hits all the right notes for me physically and sexually. How did I get her from dating into commitment? Oh, I'm on bated breath here, even though we've never seen her.
Still a mystery.
We're still a mystery to me, but I think being seemingly disinterested in a relationship with her played a major role. I never asked her to be my girlfriend because I thought it was lame to literally ask. Yeah, that would be. Fast forward 3 years and we are moving in together. Well, stay tuned. The story hasn't ended yet. Thanks, Melly. I figured this out really hard way. Us men are strong and independent kings too. Yes, we'd like to have a special person we can be vulnerable in front of. We always have to be strong. Weakness pushes women away quick. You know, at first, I thought this video was going to be full of bad advice. I gave it a chance, and it's on point. Keep up the good work. Good on every point, nothing to say. Usually girls say a lot of BS when they talk about relationship. You totally nailed it. All right. Here's what I agree with. The two twins helps us concentrate. A very good marketing strategy. Thank you.
Nailed it.
Melly, your blunt and upfront approach to these issues was refreshing and comical. I was amused. Yeah. Love this girl. She's so real. She's got a fan base, man. Melly's like an older sister you went to for advice. Okay. Straight good points, talking about it. Don't pay them no attention, period. Then just burst out laughing and she comes up and asks you what you're laughing at. Tell her it's none of your business.
Wow. That's just...
Look at her as if she smell and walk away. And if she has half a brain, maybe she'll realize that's how she treat most people and realize that it doesn't feel good. Excellent. Interesting. All right. All right, folks. This has been good. I appreciate it. Just trying some new things with the reaction videos here. We got B on the mic today to help out a little bit. It was good. Thank you, Eve. Thanks, Sabina. Rob's always on deck. VP Van Paul, welcome for the first time in studio. P. Morton was here, like I said. Let's see. A few others on deck. Rye Flint. Very good, very good. We'll be back on deck tomorrow. Take care. It is curtains.